We're less than 10 days away from the beginning session of the Global Leadership Summit. And a lot of prayer has gone into this coming summit because we know that the world needs leadership. The church needs leadership. Organizations are floundering and they don't have to, really. And so we've been praying bold prayers that this would be the kind of summit where God would show up at every chair and that every leader would get a tap on the shoulder to some kind of new decision or new commitment. As I've been emailing and having phone conversations with other faculty members of this year's Global Summit, there's just a tremendous sense of anticipation about what God's going to do this year. The last few weeks, I've been putting the finishing touches on my opening talk. I'm doing a talk called The Courage That Leadership Requires. Not just courage to make tough decisions, but courage to have difficult conversations with teammates, the courage to look into the future and launch stuff of which there is no guarantee that it's all going to go well. If you would have told me maybe 15 years ago that someday we would have global summits in 100 different countries around the world, I would not have had the faith to believe that that could ever really happen. This year we will be in 100 countries. And wherever I am, anywhere around the world, it's uncanny how many times someone will pick me up at an airport or I'll be in a dinner environment with someone and they'll say, I want to thank you for the summit, Bill, because it was in 1997 or it was in year 2011 that God spoke to me at a summit. And then out the story comes. They often say I could take you to the very chair where I was seated. I could tell you exactly what the Spirit of God talked to me about. And I made a commitment in that session, at that summit, in that chair. And then they tell me what God did after that decision was made and a new vision was birthed. And then they describe where that all went. And it all goes back to a seat, a summit, a whisper from God. And when I pray for the summit, oftentimes I pray for individual defining moments. I don't believe anyone winds up at the summit by accident. Whenever leaders gather for the purpose of getting better, God shows up and they leave those gatherings with a different kind of bounce in their step. They feel less alone. They feel emboldened by the courage of other leaders. So whatever you do, don't leave the summit regretting how many people you wish that you had brought with you. I mean, we still have a little time now. Make the last minute email, make the last minute phone call. Use that final invitation, and we're praying that every person who attends the summit, whether it be on this campus or in the hundreds of venues around the United States and eventually around the world, will receive a fresh touch from God, a fresh infusion of leadership vision. I'm praying for record impact, that every leader will get better, that every organization will move ahead because of participation in the Global Leadership Summit.